And I think the thing that the real aha for me during this conversation was this whole idea of seeking to help somebody, that
Yes.
desire to help people,
Yes.
that's
Which is basically nothing more than ego. And that isn't a bad thing or a good thing. I know your mind's going to go there. It is not a bad thing or a good thing. It is simply an ineffective thing. It is an empty thing.
and for you personally, has that ever been, because you've always written, people have always approached you for advice or counsel or coaching. Have you ever had that desire to help people?
Um, the more sincere and serious I became, the less of a desire that became.
And was it understanding that the greatest thing that you can do for yourself is help yourself? And if others benefit from that, great. If they don't, that's great too.
Um, it's about, we all go through different things in life. We all have various experiences. We all go through our own forms of trouble and, life bringing storms. And so those become a window into examining the source from where such things arise. So everything is about learning the truth about where you are, where you want to go, why such and such has happened, and whatever comes from that by side effect that another may take something from, it comes. But if I write something and I find myself trying to help, I stop writing. That's not the way, because I know that I've moved in that moment. I have moved away from uncompromising truth, and I've moved towards an egoic desire to help, and that is not satisfying at all.
Makes total sense to me. Let me ask you two more quick things. It seems like the beginning of most transformations that I've seen in people start with a crisis. What is it about a crisis that always kind of
Well,
ignites
human
this?
beings do not change unless they're standing at the edge of a cliff with a knife to their throat and a tiger standing in front of them. Human beings are 12th hour creatures. That's just the way it is.
Can you get to a state where you don't have to wait for a crisis to continue that process that you go through
Well,
of understanding?
there is no how, but if you find a way, then so be it.
When you talk about the truth being outside of your mind, is that the same as having no mind? Or is that feeling that we discussed earlier, when you get that feeling, it's a knowing?
Yeah, so feeling is sort of a direct communication from something deep. Whatever the mind tells you is a lie, and therefore truth does not exist within those conversations.
Are you totally detached from your mind? I'm sure everybody's curious. Hell, I am.
The mind means very little to me. The mind, its voice it's the voice of someone I don't want to hear. But it's
there, right?
That's taken years of learning about the truth, not practice. I didn't practice anything. That takes years of learning about the truth to be really that suspicious of the thoughts that go on intimately inside your own head.
And part of that truth is that all of that is bullshit.
It's all nonsense. Yes, it's all lies. It's all conditioning, and it's all beliefs, and it's all opinions, and it's all circular. It doesn't go anywhere. There's no truth there. It's all intellectual jargon.
Mm-hmm. And is there a sense of freedom, Kapil, when you reach that state where you're at, where you really do disidentify with all that?
Well, there is absolutely a sense of freedom, but the freedom isn't a good experience. It's just freedom. And I say that because, so what? I mean, the way that you asked it, as if the freedom is going to feel good, and it's not about that. It's not about a chase for an experience.
But it's another layer removed to getting to that truth.
Freedom from the mind is the ultimate freedom.
And you're there.
It doesn't matter.
We're curious, man. That's all.
It doesn't matter. It's just that's just comparison and competition. It's irrelevant. It's how long did you meditate today? It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't matter. It's where I am, and that has no impact on your immediate life. There are issues in everyone's life that are very immediate, very acute, that require their attention.
But your life devotion to the work that you do on yourself, whether you like it or not, is inspiration to others.
I don't do any work on myself.
What do you call it? What do you call it? Examination?
Well, it doesn't matter what I call it. I'm just saying that it's not in the vein that you're sort of putting it, where it's working on myself. I don't work on myself. It is a direct examination of the truth about things, and that isn't a different way to say it. I don't do any work. I have no rituals. I have no meditation. I have no mindfulness. There's no practice. So I literally mean that. There's no work going on here.
I know you don't, but when you get up and write, you write what comes through you. Is
Yes.
there learnings through that writing that helps you kind of peel away to get to that truth?
Yes. Because
And you don't call that work. That's just purity.
No, absolutely not. There's no work. There's no hammer and nails going on over here. There's no work. It happens instantly. It's non-work. It happens instantly. It isn't about what I do, it's where I live. So I live in that soup of swimming in an ocean, dissecting truth. But there's no practice. I'm doing my best to remove that whole charade of penance and practice and ritual and technique, and you must work on yourself, and you must pay the price, and it's none of that stuff. It's none of that effortful stuff, and face the things that you don't like, and that's all just crap. Listen, all the problems that you have, right? Anxiety, fear, pain, failure, whatever it is.
Worry, all of that.
Right, all that, right. Did you work to get those?
Of course not.
Okay. So if you didn't work to get them, why would you have to work to get rid of them?
That's what we need to get a better understanding of. It's part of the conditioning. It's kind of the depth that you have talked about, or at least helped me understand. This whole notion of disconnecting from my mind is not something that I'm going to capture. It's this thing that is available to me that I got to access. And that's what I'm trying to understand.
I understand.
I appreciate it, man, always. No better way for me to start my year.